Sam Savage.
I don't know why I'm whispering, sorry. I've just got my whole rucksack. I've got no idea why. Like, I'm on for a ramble any minute now. Yes, Jim was saying the last talk that I did was on biscuits. You don't have to win anyone over on biscuits. And they all got free biscuits at the end, so it was like, yay! And then I did a talk on rats, and I was like, oh, they're not so easy to dip in your tea, are they? But I'm going to try and win you over, so just bear with me. But I had to be honest, I was never, if I'm completely honest, I was never really into rats either. And about 7 years ago, my close friend Sarah, she said to me, oh, I'm going on holiday for a couple of weeks and I've got some pets that I'd really love you to look after if you could just stay at my house. And I was like, yeah, that's no problem. And I was thinking, cat, dog, rabbit. And they turned out to be 2 rats, Dave and Lenny. And she said, they'll be all right, don't worry. You just sit on the sofa, they free range. Free range, okay. And she said, they know their names, they'll go back in their cage, they'll be all right. So I was very dubious when I first turned up and I met Dave and Lenny, and they were very dubious about me, I think, as well, to be honest. But by the end of the week, I'd fallen completely in love with them. You know, they found out that they liked EastEnders as well. They like to sit on my lap, and they're very affectionate, and I think they're very underrated rats. So about a year after that, I got my own rats, and I've had them on and off for about 6 years. So that's what I'm going to be talking about. I'm not expecting to win some of you over. I know some people are like, no way! But and there might be a few pictures that you might want to close your eyes to. But it's like putting the sexy back into Vermin. We've got some of them like Tina Turner outfits and stuff, so you'll be fine. They're all natural, all natural. Okay. One of the things with rats is that they do tend to, you know, the language that we use generally in life, it can have quite negative connotations. You know, you have things like, the bee's knees, happy as a lark, the doves of peace. And then generally, whenever you're talking about rats, you're using, most of the time, quite negative language. So that tends to go into our minds and that tends to stay. And you're using that language throughout life. So that mentality tends to go and carry you through adulthood. With rats, we have rat race, yeah? We're on the rat race, those days that, what did you say, sorry? Ratards! Oh, that's another one! Ratards! Yeah, you could well be ratards running around that wheel, couldn't you? Actually, ratards is probably one of the nicest ones, I would say, out of all of them. Or, you know, it's got a nicer, maybe not, maybe. But, so yeah, you've got the rat race, you know, you're going to work all the time, stuck in a circle doing something that doesn't feel right at that particular time, phoning in sick on a Monday. And then obviously, which is one of the favourite, Daily Mail, the Sun newspaper, the Mirror, you've got the dirty old rat that's cheated at some point, haven't you? And you've got a few pictures and, oh, I'm alive, and they either get back together or they don't. But the good old, the good old love rat. I don't know why I'm pointing this here. There we go. Yeah, so there we are, your typical 9 to 5, your daily morning, running to work, getting back home, going to bed, waking up. Why do we do it? We do it so we can get rat-arsed at the end of the week. I love that one person clapped. Yes, yes we do. Okay, so I don't know, a lot of you may not know this. We have Chinese astrology, well you know that obviously, but the Chinese astrology, you have Year of the Rats. Is anybody here, would you know off by hand if your sign is rat? Because although 2024 is not technically Year of the Rat, it is your year apparently. We're going to have anybody that is the sign of rat. I think it's 72 was the last one for the sign of the rat. Let me have a quick check if I've got the years. Yeah, so basically 1960, 72, 84 and 96. If you were born in those years, you would be the rat. Now this is your year, it's not the year of the rat, but you are coming into money. There's going to be a cosmic alignment. Anybody that's rats this room. So any financial decisions that you're thinking about at the moment, you want to put it into place in 2024 because it is your year. They love social gatherings, which we find weird if you're at a party and saw a rat, because nobody likes rats at social gatherings. It's okay if you're a human sign though. Good understanding of human nature, and a rat's advice and opinions are often sought. The rat is a hard and diligent worker. So have a look when you get home, and if you are the sign of the rat, get some lottery tickets. Now, let's look at our ratty idols. They get given a bad name, rats, but for those of you that grew up in the 80s, this rat was the coolest thing on TV. Not only did he have his own programme, but he went on to produce some incredible records that would rival the Beatles. Rapping, I think, was one of his top hits, and his catchphrase was just that was quite a short afternoon in the writer's room. Of course, it wasn't just Roland, because every good hero needs a best friend, don't they? And Roland's best friend was Kevin. Kevin and Roland, they just hang around in town. If you haven't seen any clips of Roland, I won't put the song on, because it's you'll never get it out of your head. But this is his best friend Kevin. They got into a lot of adventures. Now, as I was looking up Roland Rat, this came up a lot. So I didn't do this clip. This just happened to come up when I was looking up for a picture of Roland Rat. There's a lot of people out there on that old internet that think that they are almost like twins. Quite a few clips, and it does say, for anyone that can't see it, so someone said, I just realised that Rishi Sunak looks like Roland Rat. And then someone's put, for any younger folk, Roland Rat filled the cultural void in Britain after the Beatles broke up. We know it, we know the chorus. A few more idols of rats that sort of are treated a lot better. We've got Ratatouille. Now Ratatouille had a dream, and the dream was to be a chef, to go to Paris and to live the best life that a rat could possibly live. As you know, when you go into a restaurant, you have these little windows where you can see what the chef's doing. If you look out, there's just a big rat in an apron making your spaghetti bolognese. Oh, it's reassuring. So he had a best friend. They all had best friends called Linguini, and they went off to Paris for their dreams of becoming chef of the year. Has anybody seen Ratatouille? Yeah. It's the sort of thing that, you watch it with children and then you try not to let them see you crying when it gets to the sad bits. And then we had Stuart Little. I've never seen Stuart Little, but Stuart Little came up a lot. And obviously, I'm not going to divide the room here, but Stuart Little, I would say, is a mouse. But his picture popped up and I thought, okay, well, that's not the end of the world, but it is the end of the world when it comes to the internet. Because what do they love more than anything in the world? Oh, a good row about whether Stuart Little is a mouse or a rat. Oh my goodness. I had to read some of it, as you do. Comments are addictive. So Stuart Little's kind of weird. He doesn't have a satisfying story either. Both my wife and I agree that it is a disappointment. And then underneath that, he's a human, what the fuck? But doesn't he have a tail? And this just goes on of people, and then somebody's put, he's obviously a mouse person, and then it just continues to go on. And then what are people doing with their day? But genuine debate about this, about Stuart Little and whether he was a mouse or a rat. Anyway, I think the worst one was about someone saying, there was one about someone, it's not on there I don't think, but it's just somebody saying about, well, obviously what's happened is the woman's just given birth to a mouse. Did nobody think that was weird? You really need to get out more. Right, so here's a couple of my little ratties. So this one is Doris. Doris always liked to hang around when she thought Father Christmas was going to rock up. And here we have three of my ratties together. Kevin on the end was the naughtiest of them all. Now rats like to live in groups, they're very social animals, and if they spend too much time alone, or if you get a rat and just keep it by itself, they often become very depressed very quickly. They like that social aspect, they like that community, and often when they go to bed, no matter how big their cage was, I would find that they were all curled up in a little corner, cuddling together. Regardless. Even if I let them free range, they would find each other and cuddle in the room because they like that closeness and they're very social animals. Now, a group of rats together, I think the name's quite ideal for what they get up to. Does anybody know what a group of rats together is called? Funny enough, someone said that at the other night, which is I certainly prefer Roland's rat, I will say that much. Yeah, a group of rats together is, anyone want to hazard a guess?
Plague.
A plague. Oh no, we'll get on to that. It's a mischief. It's a mischief of rats, it makes sense. But no, the plague they were blamed for, weren't they? Which again is a very negative. 25 million people died in the plague, and understandably, at that time rats got the blame. Now recently they've done studies, so a few years back, there's actually, BBC were talking about it as well. They're saying they don't think it was rats that caused the plague. They think that it was the lice from humans, purely because the plague spread so quickly. They think it was the human interaction that caused it as opposed to the rats. Obviously they probably didn't help, but neither did throwing sewage out of your window and ringing a bell. Now this one loves to read books. Stephen King is one of her favourites, although actually it probably should be James Herbert, the rat, shouldn't it, to be, if she was going to do it. Now, this one loves a good drink, used to go down the pub, this is Dougal, and often I would have to catch her before she went to bed and try and sober her up with a coffee. Male rats are called bucks and female rats are called does. They can have up to 6 litters a year. Their babies can range from 6 to 12 babies, so potentially within a year they can have 72 babies from one rat. This one is Doris just enjoying the seaside. We just lost one of her family and I was consoling her with a double-decker, which is probably not meant to be rats, but she was quite old, and I think with every animal it gets to a certain point in their life where you're like, they can have some double-deckers, aren't they? Now rats are not nocturnal. They sleep about 12 and a half hours a day, sort of 52% of the day they often sleep. They're not nocturnal, their sleep pattern can vary. They sleep just like us humans, and they have the REM sleep state that we also have. So each rat can be completely individual with its sleep pattern. As I say, this was where they'd found each other in a room and just got together for a little cuddle. Now this one's Kevin. This is Kevin looking at his own reflection. I need to look this word up. I basically had the loveliest dinner from the bar, and now I'm struggling to not nap. But it was well worth it. It was delicious. That's the word I'm looking for. So rats are one of the few animals that are self-aware. The word is metacognition, apparently. They have shown self-awareness. Other animals that possess this are apes, elephants, and magpies. But I'm not sure if Kevin is that self-aware looking by that picture. He looks like he's playing a small harmonica, doesn't he? That's another one hoping to come on holiday with me. Now, as I said, Kevin was the naughtiest. I don't know if anybody here ever takes chlorella or spirulina. It's an incredible powder. It has so many vitamins and minerals in. It's from an algae, but it's very good for you. And I just bought a new packet and obviously put it too much in range of Kevin, who I found had broken into it and looked a little bit like the Incredible Hulk. And the same goes for my contact lenses. He'd gone through them one by one like little shots. Bless Kevin. Right, okay, let's get back to a nice big ratty hero. Now these particular rats can vary with their weights. We have monster rats that can be a couple of pounds, or you have African pouched rats, which some of them can weigh up to 8 or 9 pounds, which is the same as a small cat. They are absolute heroes in what they do. They can detect TB, they can find landmines, and they can also find pangolins. Now, pangolins are creatures, I've put a few pictures up because they're incredibly unique in how they look and what they do. And unfortunately, they're very close to extinction. They have the most amazing scales, and rats can find them and basically have helped bring them back from the brink of extinction. Now, this next ratty is an absolute hero. Magawi has found over 100 landmines, passed away recently, but they live up to 8 or 9 years, so he got to have a couple of years of retirement before he passed away. I wanted to get you a video of his work actually, because, and I have got you something to have a look at along those lines of the landmine rats, because they are absolutely mind-blowing what they can do. They take about a year to train, and they are fantastic. I haven't got him in it, but he did such a good job. He got a medal from the PDSA, a gold medal to wear. And don't you just love that he's slowing down in his old age, so they let him have his retirement. But don't you just love that he's got his medal on, just like as he rocks up with all the other rats, just looking that little bit special. What's that you've got there? Nothing, I don't want to talk about it. Right, so these are the creatures that I was talking about. They look absolutely prehistoric. They're beautiful. Their scales are stunning. But as I say, unfortunately, they're a delicacy in China for medicine, and Vietnam. They also cook them. They'll make belts and stuff out of the scales. But these are the pangolins, and they're just absolutely stunning. They don't even really look real. When you think of the world that we're in, that we have some of these creatures that exist, it's absolutely beautiful. And these are the scales, as you can see here. They don't actually know how many pangolins are left in the world because they're incredibly shy and they generally very rare to come across. So they don't actually have a rough idea. Right, okay, what I'm going to do is just show you a quick video of a landmine rat at work.
In Africa, the landmine can destroy human life, but the rats can sniff the mine before they destroy it. My name is Pendo, and I train the rats to target hidden landmines in Tanzania. We train them from the earlier stage. It takes 9 months to be deployed to really minefield. The weight, even if they go over the mine, it can't destroy. We have never lost any rat. By human thinking, rat is an enemy. You can't imagine you can communicate with the rat, but the rat can understand completely. Now we are taking care of the rat. The people feel proud working with that animals because the rat is the friend that can save human life.
Beautiful, aren't they? I'm just going to very quickly go into the next video because I think I'm running over slightly. But yeah, just fantastic. Now this is what I'm just going to show you. You know, a cat will purr when it's happy, a dog will wag its tail. I think sometimes we disassociate ourselves with animals because it makes things a little bit easier. We pretend that they don't feel fear, they don't feel happiness, they don't feel lonely, because I think it makes that detachment slightly easier. When a lot of times there are very obvious signs. They do feel happiness, they do feel fear, they do feel a lot of emotions that we do. I just want to show you something now quickly. One of the things that rats do when they're happy is called boggling. And it's basically the eyes will vibrate and it's almost like they go in and out of their sockets. The video is very quick, so just keep an eye out for it. They look almost like they've become alien, but it's quite a unique thing. You can always go and have a look. There's lots of videos on boggling and it's quite an incredible thing. So just, here we go.
Did you know that rats take the phrase mind-boggling to a whole new level? When rats are happy or content, they will chatter their teeth and make a noise called bruxing. Rats have a particular muscle that is attached to their jaw bones that is used for grinding their teeth and chewing. This muscle also extends behind their eye sockets, so when the chattering becomes super intense, the muscle will fluctuate and causes the eyeballs to bounce and jiggle and do a little dancey dance, like this. To most people, it does kind of look like a mini rat seizure, but don't worry. In the right context, boggling is a sign of happiness and relaxation. It is also called rat purring by many chaos potato lovers. Truthfully, I myself am making this video as an excuse to make a compilation of my own rats boggling, so here you go.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Just a little bit. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Just a little bit.
There you go.